watching tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Tonight we have special guest Donna Hamblin, who has done a prolific amount of movies in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
And you've done some sequels to some classics here. You've done sequels to Astro Zombies, which is I have both 1 and 2. I don't have 3. I didn't even know there was a 3 until I found your. It's like, now I got to go find that. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I've been in the horror industry for quite a while, but now it's kind of not so much horror, but like independent film, and it branches out in many different areas. I mean, there's everything from hardcore to zombies to, biker. So yeah, it's a variety. It's not just horror anymore. And it's really nice to have that, the variety of things to do. I get tongue twisted during live interviews, people. So I'll warm up in a minute. My tea will help me.
That's what this is right here, my tea. So
think alike, right?
Yes. It's cool because I seen that you've done some of like the I guess for the lack of a better term, the biker chick movies, the Hellcat's Revenge and stuff like that. Like I was always a sucker for those back in the day when I was younger, and I still am. Like the bad girls. I'm literally wearing my Faster Pussycat t-shirt on right now, and Switchblade Sisters and all those movies like that. And
yeah, it's funny because a lot of the biker movies, the grunge biker movies, they become like almost like cult classics in the industry, if you will. Just like Faster Pussycat and Hellcat's Revenge. There was part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is Dead Man's Hand. So those are done by Lynn Kabazinski out of Erie, Pennsylvania. And I don't know about part 1, but part 2 right now you can watch on Tubi TV. So very fun to film. Those characters are just fun.
So I'm going to have to find Hellcat's Revenge on Tubi tonight.
You won't be disappointed. It's fun to watch. Yeah. And yeah, everybody in there is just, they're so amazing. It stars Lisa Neild, and oh my gosh, I can't even begin. It's a plethora of actors, Erie, a lot of local and people came from everywhere. My friend Deborah Dutch is in it. But it's just hard. I mean, I'd have to go on a list of like 30 people to name them all. But yeah, it's a great watch. If you get a chance, look it up.
So what got you into movies? Did you find somebody that you really like, I want to do that? Or is it just you got roped into it, or how did it happen?
Well, what happened is when I moved to Vegas when I was a teenager, I dove a little bit into modeling because every 17-year-old girl wants to be a model. And yeah, I mean, I have friends that have been like top models and on Paris Vogue and everything, and there's no way I could compare to that now I look at it. But after that, I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry one way or another. When I was younger, I really wanted to just run away and join the circus. That's what I wanted to do. So when I was doing the modeling, we used to have to look through the newspaper back then. It was years ago. I would see they would have advertisements. They were auditioning for a movie, right? Models, movies, blah, blah, blah. You go down the line. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go give this a shot just for the hell of it. I really had no clue what I was doing. I went in there, I didn't get it, but I did meet an acting coach who had his students there, and he invited me to his workshop. And after the first time I was there, I fell in love with the craft. And I had agents. I mean, I auditioned for Disney, never got it, but I auditioned and worked on a lot of big productions from Hollywood, but it was through Ted Michaels, who lived here in Las Vegas. I I met my best friend through him, and he's the one that really introduced me into the independent film and the horror, and my best friend Luc Beignet, and he's the one I really have to give credit to for everything.
Yeah, Vegas seems like a completely different world than the rest of the world. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I passed up a job managing a hotel in Henderson, and I was like, that's only like 20 minutes north of Vegas, and they're like, you should really look into it. I don't know if you're gonna like it out there. It's a place where people go to visit. Not many people go there to live. I was like, oh, okay. What was
And
your?
what happened? You just turned it down?
Yeah, it was one of the ones where I had come off of managing a hotel here locally, and I kind of put my name out there, and it was one of them. I think it was like a monster, and I got this job offer to manage a hotel, and I was like, man, maybe I should take it. And then I was like, maybe I should.
Well, yeah, I mean, Vegas is a fast-paced lifestyle. I've been here long enough to know to just kind of lay low, and I'm located in Henderson, which is like the slower part of Las Vegas. They're pretty much connected now. You could be anywhere in 10 minutes, which is the glory of this town. So most people that move here, that we call them the transplants, they usually last about a year and then they move away. It's just it's just not really the town for everybody. Uh, but for others, it's like a dream come true.
So I could definitely see it. Now, do you remember your first acting job?
I do. And it was through this workshop that I got it. It was a local producer here. He produced a movie called, oh crap, this is okay. I should know this. It's called, I think it was renamed. It was something death. I mean, this was done 20, 30 years ago. It's on my IMDb page. It's like the very first one. So
Like a Shadow?
no.
Okay, we got. Let's see. No, yeah.
Maybe it's not on there. It was a local producer. His name is Guy Boudart. I think that's the only movie he's put out. Uh, something of death. Anyhow, I
Oh,
apologize.
okay. Here we go. Here we go. Killer's Mind.
Killer's Mind. Yes, it
Yep.
was something death before then. I think I'm not positive. So yeah, wasn't that in the 90s
It
or
says 99
yeah?
because
So
it says Like a Shadow. You did that before, but then again, IMDb can be confusing and
yeah.
move stuff out of order.
It can. Like a Shadow actually is part of the anthology, Michael Rodriguez, Last American Horror Show, Part 2, which is going to be out soon. And the name Like a Shadow was changed to Dark Lullaby is the segment in that. And I think that's going to be any month now. It should be out. I watched the first one. It's a lot of fun. He's really good.
Now, did you have somebody that you really looked up to that kind of, go, I want to be her or them, or that that made you want to be an actor?
Yeah. There was nobody that really was like, oh my God, now I want to be an actor. I want to be famous. I loved the craft more than anything. And I have to say that I've admired so many actors. More of the old school. When I was doing a play here, I would, I read every single biography of Marlon Brando's. He's like, I have a dog named after him. That's how bad I am. Anyway, so I would post his picture on the mirror while I was getting ready to go on stage because he inspired me throughout his work to keep it real, keep it natural, this and that. So that's pretty much as close as it came for me as far as that goes. It's like, who wouldn't want to be Greta Garbo or Lana Turner? But it's pretty unrealistic.
Yeah. Now, this is the one I've always asked everybody. If you could be in any genre of movie, what one would you want to be in?
You
Maybe,
mean
maybe,
if I pick right now,
yeah.
I would love to do a dark comedy. I love to do comedy. And I've had a few people that have cast me and trust me in comedy. But I don't get cast for it much. And really in the independent film world, there's not a whole lot of comedy that is done. But that would definitely be it. And just to play like the biggest, hideous nerd, uh, yeah, that that would be a dream come true for me. I'd have a lot of fun with it.
Now, who would you like to work with? Like actor, director?
Oh gosh, you know what? I have been so fortunate in my career with this to have worked with so many that I've already wanted to do so with. And to put it out there, there's oh gosh, there's so many. It's like, oh my God, they're so good, they're so great. I'd like to work with them. So as far as in the independent world, it would be hard just to name one because there's so many out there I haven't had the opportunity, to work with that I would like to. So
Okay. Um, I see that you did Mark of the Astro Zombies, the sequel to the classic Astro Zombies.
yes.
How'd you get hooked up into that? Because that would have been, oh geez, that is a shoot, almost 40 years between movies, between sequels.
No, yeah. Again, it was through my acting workshop, and Ted Michaels himself came into one of the showcases and found interest and left me his card. I had no clue who he was at the time, no clue. Um, and so I did the part. I believe her name was Laura. And then from there on, he would call me. You want to do this movie next? You want to do that movie next? And yeah, I had a lot of fun, but that's pretty much how I got hooked up. And that was my first real, like horror movie.
Yeah, it's funny because you look here. It's got Cauldron, which is the one that I just right there. Cauldron,
Yeah, Cauldron, Baptism of Blood.
blood. Yeah, because it has that one before Mark of the Astro Zombies on your list.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, I
Then
think
you
it was Mark of the Astro Zombies, Cauldron, crap, what's the one about the house?
at the
Demon
House of
Haunt.
Madness.
At the House of Madness was done by Steve Sessions in Mississippi. He's a producer and he does that. eh, I love the way he works. And he likes doing that like old grainy kind of style, cultish kind of stuff. He hasn't done anything in a few years, but I did that and I did Sinister with him in Mississippi.
Cool. Um, how far have you gone to make movies? I mean, you were talking about you're in Vegas. You've gone to Erie, Pennsylvania. You've gone to Mississippi. Um, where,
Well, that's the joy of this industry is you get to travel all around, you get to make new friends, meet new people, see new scenery. I've been to Erie, I've been to Montreal, Canada, I've been to California, yeah, Oregon several times. And the nice thing is I've been very fortunate enough to work with the same producer over again. So I get to go back and work with the same people who I consider now my friends for the most part, all of them. That's the joys of this business.
yeah, it's nice because we have a pretty big independent movie um, group. I guess I don't know scene. I guess locally. I mean, not here in my hometown, but a little bit south of here. And I mean, it's amazing, and it's you always get the tight knit group of people. You get the people who always work with the same people, and everybody jokes around because they're like, oh well, this person's got like 18 movies and they're all working for the same guy. I'm like, yeah, because they know them and they know that they can trust them to put them in, and that they know they'll show up for it on time. They know they'll put in a good day's work
Yeah.
and whatnot. So, and
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there was one time where Ted wanted me for another movie. And I said, Ted, I just don't know if it's a good idea to just have you all over my resume, you know? And he said, well, sure it is, Donna. He goes, because he says it shows that I want to work with you over and over again. And I never looked at that view of it. But and you'll find, I mean, most of the producers I have worked with, I would work over and over again and do 18 movies with them in a heartbeat, you know, just because I love their style, I love what they do, and yeah, so you can look at it from the actor's point of view also in that matter.
now, do you have your favorite movie that you've worked on?
Uh, I don't have a favorite movie. They're all my favorite. Um, I have favorite characters that I've done, which is, I tell people without a doubt, and it's not being prejudiced by any mean, but my favorite character I've ever worked on was Rosie in Hellcats. She was just so much fun, and I mean, I would love to do her character over and over again. I don't know if I'll have that chance. I don't know if they're going to kill me off or even do another one, but um, you know, so movie, there's it depends. I mean, there's a movie that's not even out now that I cannot wait to see the scene, just because when I was doing it, it was so real and so touching and so moving to do. um that really is it's, how do I put this, it's not gonna be my favorite movie, but I mean, it's like you look deep in the scenes, and I don't know if I'm just that way or every actress and actor is that way and see stuff like that. And even if I did have a favorite movie, I sure as hell couldn't mention it on here. Are you kidding? But I don't. I love them all.
Wow. I just now I went through and looked up on your IMDb your upcoming movies.
Yes.
Wow, you've got a lot going.
You know, it's funny considering it's in January, it had been 2 years since I filmed. So I'm very grateful. These are, you know, these are starting to come out now. But yeah, there's a lot. There's oh my gosh, there's well, Uncommon Bond was released by Skull-Faced Astronaut. Like I said, Michael Rodriguez, Last American Horror Show. I mean, there's, yeah, and then I just found out there was, I think, three. Hold on, I have them written down. I have to have a cheat sheet, you guys. Sorry. There's, oh, there's like two just by Jeff Schneider in Oregon, which is Loose Luck is coming out soon. Alien Wars Judgment soon. Alien Wars is coming out soon. Hellcat's Revenge, The Haunting of Mia Moss, Challenge of Five Gauntlets. Two of those are done by Len Kabazinski, and they're out on Tubi TV. So there's one, two, three, four movies that are out on Tubi TV as of recently. So, which I'm very, very thankful for.
Now I see one that totally caught my interest here. So I am a total sucker for the like the sword and sorcery type stuff. The King, the
Yeah.
Swordsman, and the Sorceress.
Okay, that's going to be done by Jeff Schneider. It hasn't filmed yet. I
Okay.
think he wants to film. I, I don't quote me, but sometime the end of this year, maybe next year. You know, with the lockdown and all this crap going on, it's just put such a damper on so many
Oh yeah,
timeline plans. It's really hard to say.
yeah. It,
But
it's
yes, that's like right up my alley, stuff like that. I love doing character work.
Now, do you do many conventions? Are you out on the convention circuit at all?
No, I was going to. I've been to a convention once with Ted in LA. It was Fangoria. Um, I don't know. I never looked at myself like I was really, I don't know, if you will, big enough to get out there and sell photographs and stuff. I mean, I've never really had an interest because of that, I guess, if you will. And for me, it's like I had somebody ask me once, I'm go, well, how damn depressing would that be if like nobody ever asked for a picture? So, but no, and it's very, very time consuming. I wouldn't want to commit to doing a convention, even if I was offered one. And then they said, hey, can you film this date? It's like, no, I'm already doing a convention. I would rather film. I'd rather act. I'd rather do that craft than anything.
Okay. So okay, what if somebody wants to get, like, do you have places like, if I want to send this to you to get autographed, do you do autographs? You do signings or anything?
Oh, absolutely. I send stuff all the time through the mail. Sometimes it gets pretty expensive if it's across the ocean. But yes, yes. People can just email me or they can get on my website and email me or message me on my website, their address. If they have it to send to me, then yes, I have a PO box they can send it to. But other than that, if they just want a photograph or anything like that, yeah, I'm more than happy to send it. I don't mind that at all. It's actually, I'm very grateful for it.
What I'll do is, at the end, I'll put all your credits at the end and put your links and stuff like that at the end of the episode. So we'll put that up
Oh,
there.
well, thank you very much.
No
Thank you.
problem. Um, Now, like I said, you are putting out, either A, you're working on a lot of stuff, or you've put out a lot of stuff. Um, how, how do you find the time? I'm looking at this. This list is huge. Um, have you ever worked on two movies at the same time or anything like that?
I have, well, yeah, but it was by the same producer.
Okay.
Again, it was Jeff Schneider. Last time I went up to Oregon, was it 2 years ago? I've lost track of time since we haven't traveled much late as of late. Uh, so he was filming 3 movies in 1 week that we were there, and I was in all 3. And I was the lead in one of them. So I said, oh my God, there's no way he's going to do 3 movies in 1 week. And by hell, he did. So I can say yes, but as far as like running back and forth, no, I've not done 2 movies at the same time.
Be able to, like, yeah, okay, we need you on this set over here, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
That
no.
you can do, but if you want me to travel, that's not gonna happen, huh?
Yeah, usually I'm given enough time to prepare, for the dates. They'll say, well, we're going to need you this date. And in general, it's several months ahead of time. So
Mhm.
I'll just block out that amount of time for it. And if I have something I could do a day before or a day after I get back, then so be it. But yeah, it usually doesn't happen that way. I mean, and you have to realize that most of the movies that are coming out have been in post-production. So they're, maybe it's coincidence they're all coming out at the same time. That last, what was it, 2019, 2018, 19, and up to January 2020, it was very busy filming seasons for me, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, it looks like I said, on your IMDb, you're putting out at least 4 a year since, although 2018 you were busy by this.
Yeah, yeah, 2018 was a really, really busy year.
Now, have you ever had to look at somebody and go, no, no, I'm not doing that. No.
Such as,
Like, say you're okay, you're doing a movie, and maybe it's not, nudity, or just the scene is just too silly, or you get, they put you a script and you read it and you're like, no, that character ain't me. I couldn't see me doing that. No.
okay, yeah, I've done that with Ted before, and I've said this character is really not me, but I think this person, another actress, is perfect for it, and she gladly came down and did the part. Just because I want to make somebody's movie the best it can be. I mean, I'm that person. I'm not jealous. I'm not real competitive. Um, There is one movie that is such an amazing, beautiful, beautiful script. It's a vampire script.
Hmm.
And the producer, he's like, I'm writing this script. I really want you to do it and this and that. But some stuff that was written in it, I just told him, I says, I just can't do that. It was a little explicit for me. I said, if you have a body double, I'll be more than happy to. And he's like, well, no, I'll make that. So that one I wasn't able to do. And for, various reasons, not that I wouldn't do it, but I'll give you an example. We had to film this scene, Evil Under the Skin, in Oregon. And I filmed it with Tim O'Hearn, who's a really great actor and a really good friend of mine. And we were playing brother and sister. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get the new script, that they revised the scene a little bit from the original writer. And this brother and sister, who are twisted anyway, are having this really weird incestual relationship. So so I text him. I says, "We get a kiss." He's like, "Aren't you my sister?" I'm like, "Yeah." Anyway, when it is stuff like that, there is stuff that you are going to move out of your comfort zone in acting. There's no doubt about it. To me, that's the fun, the challenging. And I mean, if you can learn to just really have fun with it rather than let it be a negative thing, it's going to flow so well and it's going to look so real. And it's just going to enhance you, I think, as a performer. I mean, like I said, the more hideous, ignorant character there is, I mean, more fun. That's like icing on the cake for me. That's what I really, really enjoy doing.
Now, do you have any like advice for people young actors, actresses trying to break into the business?
Advice, yeah, I would say, first of all, have fun with it. Have fun with it. And don't let people bring you down. Yeah, I mean, because most of the time it's your own conscience that's taken it in a negative direction from what people say. You can enhance it for the worse, if you will. And if they're intentionally mean about it, just ignore them. There's so many wonderful people. There's so many people willing to give people a break. This is how we all got started. And I mean, there's just some naturally gifted actors out there that really don't need workshops or lessons, perhaps, that could just get on camera and go. But my main thing, and that I've always, always went by, is just have fun with it. I'm not in this. I'm very, very grateful for where I've gotten in this industry, and I'm in awe by it all the time. But I never got in this industry to become famous. I never, not that I am famous, or to be popular, or to be, I mean, I got in it to have fun and do my acting and enjoy my acting. Not everybody's going to look at it that way or want to get in it, for the same reason as I did. But that would be my advice. Just have fun with it and, keep the negativity out of it. And if somebody's negative, just go on your way, because there's a lot of nice people in this industry.
Cool. You know, okay, here we go. We're gonna start getting the goofy. What is your favorite movie? Not that you've done, just your favorite movie, like your go-to movie. Like you could sit down any time of the day, month, year, whatever. You could put it in and you can watch it.
Does it have to just be one?
No, it can be multiple. Yeah.
Well, my number one movie is, of course, A Streetcar Named Desire with Marlon Brando. And yeah, I mean, I love every Marlon Brando movie. And it's funny because most people would think The Godfather, but I like his older movies better. And the second one is House of Flying Daggers, which I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with.
That's a great kung fu movie. That is,
isn't it though?
yes.
And yeah, I love kung fu movies. I grew up watching the old black and white kung fu, remember? So,
Mm-hmm.
but those would definitely be the top two in my book.
Now, would you ever do a kung fu movie?
If I was physically able to, yes. So, I mean, I was an avid expert fencer for many, many years, which a lot of people don't know. And it's been a few years since I've done it. I was in a pretty bad automobile accident, so it was really hard to do the lunges and stuff. And I tried picking it up a few years ago, but it's like I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, because there's a lot of, older fencers. Tony Curtis took lessons from the same fencing master that I did, and he was like in his 60s, 70s when he started. So shame on me, right? So Kung Fu, I mean, anything that I can physically do or try to do and make it look real on set, I'm all down for it. But there's so many experts. Len Kabazinski's, he's an expert. Oh gosh, sorry, Len, I don't know how many belts you have, but he does a lot of choreography for movies and he does it on his set. So I think if they're going to have that, there's a lot of beautiful actresses out there that are very talented that probably can do Kung Fu. So I'm sure they would get hired before Donna would.
I had to ask because I love kung fu movies. We have the ongoing joke that every time you see Michelle Yeoh in any action movie or anything, and especially when she just did Shang-Chi where she's doing all the moves and she's making the everything, I'm like, no, that's just what she can physically do.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, people don't realize they have doubles, they have stunt doubles, they have experts that come in, yeah, they're going to have the star, but
no, yeah.
you know uh, she might be pretty badass. Who knows? I mean, who knows behind the scenes? They may not just want her to get injured so she can finish the movie.
Well, she used to fight with Jackie Chan, so there's points there, I guess.
True.
Yeah.
True. It's funny you mentioned that because the not not the last movie, but the one I did before, Challenge of Five Gauntlets, with Lynn in Erie, he had Leo Fong in it, who is like the master of masters. And he was he just wrapped up filming, crap, what's the name of it? But Leo was in that one as well. So, and he's very sweet, very amazing guy.
Yeah,
I guess he taught Bruce Lee how to fight, I believe Leo Fong did.
The 1928. Wow. Yeah. That's bad. Both IMD is both an awesome thing and a curse, because I sit there and look at stuff and I've talked to people and they're like, I was never in that movie.
Yeah, I have a few on there that I have not been in either. Or because the name got changed, and sometimes with IMDb, they can notify them many times and it takes a while to take it off, I guess.
Yeah. Now here we go. You've done the Axeman, the franchise, I guess. Is there any franchises you would like to do?
Okay, so what was that again? I
The
was what?
Axeman, the Axemas, sorry.
Oh,
Axemas.
Aximus. Yes,
Yeah.
Aximus. Okay.
Because you were Mrs. Claus. At least in the
well, okay. I can't really say much because there's going to be a sequel to that, so I can't really reveal too much with my character. And I'm not sure when that's going to be shooting. It was supposed to start last year, but again, everything's put off. So Aximus, there's 1 and 2, and I believe there's going to be 3, and I don't know if that will be the end or not, but yeah, so I did that one, so I'll do 2 of those, and then again, there's sequels to other stuff that I've done, but oh gosh, it's hard to I don't know of it, if there's any. I'm willing to be in any of them. Any of them if I could. The franchise, I mean, they're it's fun to do, and it's fun to bring your character back again and again, like in Hellcats.
Yeah.
So I'm completely open to it.
So is Hellcats the one you want to cut? You said you wanted to bring your character back for like as long as they'll let you keep doing it, you'll keep bringing that character back.
Yeah. Rosie, here's her name with the tattooed face. Yeah.
And it's funny because like I said, I'm sitting there, I'm looking, it's like, oh man, now I have to find these. And I am as much as I do love streaming because Tubi and Plex and all those have like I have found so many movies that I never thought I'd find. And
Hmm.
but I'm still a physical media guy, so I have thousands upon thousands of DVDs and
Oh
Blu-rays and
gosh.
VHS
Yeah.
and so now I was like, oh, now I got to find this movie. Now I got to find this movie.
Yes, and with all the people you interview, I'm sure it's stacking up, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to some people a while back, and I was like, well, I had this stack of stuff. I was like, these are some of the movies that you've done that I own, and then we were talking before we started filming. I like I said, I'm a sucker for Bigfoot movies, and you have one that's I guess it's not really a Bigfoot movie, but it's Claude. It is the you said you don't know what the monster is.
No, I mean, if you watch the movie, I'm not quite sure if you can make out what you want it to be, or, I mean, but the creature does come from the woods, and so it would give an error that it could be a Bigfoot type movie until you actually see the monster itself. So, and yeah, we were filming that in the hills of Los Angeles. I'll never forget that. I lost my voice for 2 days, like from screaming.
Have you ever been? You said you lost your voice. Have you ever been like injured on a set of a movie or anything where you?
No, I haven't. I mean, there was one movie that was filmed in Kansas, and the day before I was set to fly out, I wasn't feeling well, so I went to the doctor. I insisted, on like give me some medicine. I could feel something coming on, and I woke up the morning and to get ready to fly out. It was early morning, and I was so sick. I had the worst flu. I had no voice. I couldn't hold my head up. I still had to get ready and get on the plane and go film. But other than that, I no, usually every producer I have worked with and director on set are so keen on safety. Um, I've been on set where they've had like toy guns lined up, and they were finishing them up so where they look, try to look real. And I mean, you're not even allowed to go near the toy guns. I mean, there's been safety first on every set I've been on. So I haven't really ever, it's not even, not that it has not only not happened, it's something I've never had to be concerned. There would be no producer or director that would there's none of them that I've worked with that would put their actor or actress in any harm's way.
Cool. Because I know that low budget movies sometimes it's you're the actress the you because they don't have stuntmen, so you're still doing the stunts. So
Yes, yeah. There's a movie coming up that has been postponed a few times because of the pandemic and tornadoes and everything. And I believe it's Oklahoma, where I'll be doing a lot of my own stunts there, and swordplay and choreography, which I was really looking forward and excited to do. But now, I mean, it's going on 3 years now. I'm like, am I going to be able to still do this? So I would give it my best shot though. But I mean, it's like I sometimes have to question myself. Can I still do this with, I'm not getting younger, just going one way.
my kids make fun of me. I as I've gotten older, I become avid gym goer, and so I've gotten like fit in my old age, and I'm like I look fit, I feel fit, but I'm like, but there's still stuff I can't do. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm old.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? I thought I would never ever slow down. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I have to walk to my mailbox. But I've gotten so lazy this last few years. I literally have went nowhere. And I finally get to go on a little side trip with my sister Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it because I am not used to sitting home for 2.5 years. It's been driving me nuts. And I feel like I've gotten lazier. I should be going to the gym. I should, but because of that, I'm feeling it myself. I'm doing it to myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the opposite. When all this locked down, I started like my brain started going 1,000 miles an hour. I had to I was, like I said, I was going to the gym. So instead of going to the gym like 3 days a week like I do now, my wife bought me some stuff so I could work out at home. So I'm working out every day at home because I couldn't handle it.
Well, good for
Yeah.
you. That's what we should have all been doing.
My,
Yeah.
my one buddy said, I think you're the only person I know that lost weight and got healthier during the pandemic.
I have to agree with your friend because everybody I know, including myself, like sat home and ate and ballooned 10 to 15 pounds.
I think I lost 30 pounds. So
Wow. Well, good for you.
thank
You
you.
went in the opposite direction. So,
Yeah.
and it probably makes you feel better as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I went I have my son's now older, but he was when he was little, he was a late life baby. I mean, all my older kids are all adults now and stuff like that. My youngest son is 11. So there's 11 years difference between my youngest and my next youngest.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't keep up with him. He'd
Yeah.
run and I'm like
You feel like that. I know, right?
and I was like, I got to do something about this. That's why I started going to the gym. I remember the first day he was running and he's laughing and he turns around and I'm right behind him. I'm like, no, and I grab him up by his shirt. I was like, now see,
Yeah, I have a family members who have done that gap with kids, and I look at them and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm tired just watching you guys. There's no way I could, I mean, raising another kid. Ooh, yeah. But I mean, my daughter's, she's 35 years old, so that would be impossible.
my oldest just turned 30. My next youngest is 25, 22, and then 11.
Oh
So
my heavens. Do they help you with him?
my 22-year-old, he helps out with
Oh,
it.
nice.
He's
Sweet.
matter of fact, it's funny because my youngest son has autism and he's homeschooled, so he likes to stay home a lot. But he goes when I go to the gym, I take him over to his brother's house because he loves it. That's like his getaway. He's like, I want to go to Brandon and Joe's house, so he goes
Oh,
over to my kids.
oh, how sweet.
So
Oh.
he's my little buddy. He goes pretty much with me everywhere I go. So
Oh. Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's a special place in my heart for children with autism and Down syndrome. I have a niece who has it, and I know of parents whose children have it, and it just they're wonderful parents, and
no,
I'm sure you are too. So it takes a
yeah,
special person,
yeah.
for that. And I always believe, like I told my sister, I says, you were chosen. She was chosen for you. You're lucky. So
Oh yeah, my kids are all four of them are amazing. I mean, my 22-year-old, everybody jokes around because he says like he's you, and I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm glad because he's like straight edge. He's become like I wouldn't say he's completely vegetarian, but he's like mostly vegetarian, and he doesn't get into trouble and stuff like that. I'm like, man, at 22 years old, all I did was get in trouble.
right. I think we all did. Yeah. And sometimes you want to look at it as like, what's wrong with you? Right.
I told him, I was like, if I was you at 22, you wouldn't exist now.
Well, good
But
for him.
yeah,
Good for him.
luckily I have a wife who has put up with my crap for way too many years than she needs to.
You found a trooper, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's awesome. she's an amazing woman. She's put up with more than really any woman should have to put up with for closing in on 30 years of being together. So it's
That's wonderful. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
So, but it's one of them
Not
things.
many people can say that, you know.
And it's kind of funny is I turned four. I'll be 48 this year. People ask me, they're like, oh, you've done traveled around, did all this stuff, and they're like, because my reunion's coming up, and they're like, oh, we live here, we live here, we live here. I was like, I live 3 blocks away from the house I grew up in.
Really? Yeah, yeah.
And I'm trying to buy a building 2 places down from where I used to live. Just so I can
there's a lot. Is it a small town? Where are you at?
I'm in a small town called Piqua. It's about 30 miles north of Dayton,
Okay.
which is about I'm about an hour 45 minutes away from Cincinnati if I drive south. So
Okay.
yeah, but
Excuse me. Oh,
you all right?
yeah. I'm in my spare room. It probably needs to be dusted. It just caught up with me. So excuse me. I think that's very, I don't know. I don't want to use the word typical, but when you live in a small town, it's easy to buy the house 2 doors from where you grew up. And I
Oh
mean, this
yeah.
is what or the building down the street. I think it's very I, I I don't want to say, like I said, I don't want to say typical. I grew up in a small town as well. And believe it or not, I grew up in a small town in Utah. so, so I know a lot about small towns. Um, I couldn't wait to get away from it. I didn't like the small town talk, the gossip, the this
Hmm.
that went away with where I was personally living. I don't know if they're all like that. Um, and that moving to Las Vegas was such a dream for me because it was a big city, a breath of fresh air. Nobody knew everybody. So now when I go back to that small town, which I seldom do anymore because my parents are both gone and their house is gone now, and that was a house that I was moved into on Halloween Day when I was 3 years old, and it sold last year. So that was like home. But my brother bought it. So this is, you want to hold on to the nostalgia, this and this. And actually, most of us that live in a big city, and a lot of people I know, they dream to get back to that small town and that small town living and the atmosphere after they've had the city life for a while. So look at you saved yourself all this money moving. You just stayed there, right?
Oh no, I've moved a lot, but just in a very small area.
That's okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's funny because I joke around with my wife about being I own a comic book store here in town that sells video games. And
Sweet.
I was the manager at the Hollywood Video for a while. I was a manager at a hotel, so like everybody knows me. And I'm like, I joke around that I'm Piqua famous, which is the town, and they're like, everybody knows me. Everybody comes up and talks to me, and my wife goes, "Who's that?" I'm like, I don't know. I just hi, thank you, goodbye.
At least they like you, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they don't like me.
I don't see how they couldn't really.
uh, it's I have in the years I was not always a good person. I'm not gonna lie, because I was
None
young,
of us were. Yeah.
drinking and the partying and whatnot.
Oh
And
yeah. We've all done
now
that.
I'm the I was like, I looked at my wife a couple years ago. I was like, I'm a upstanding businessman in a small town. I was like, this is weird. I'm not sure this is what I want to do with my.
It's not what you thought you would
Oh
be,
no,
right? From
no.
your earlier years.
Oh yeah, no. I figured I'd kind of be in the business I'm in now, and
Uh-huh.
pretty much everybody knew that that's where I was going to be eventually.
Okay.
Because I ran into people I haven't seen since high school, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do now, Paul?" And I'm like, "Oh, I own the comic book video game store here in town." They're like, "Yeah, I can see that." I figured that's where you'd be. I'm like, yep, that's me. I'm right there. So
Well, that's okay because you've become successful
yeah,
for yourself with
yeah,
what you want and what you love.
yeah,
And not a lot of people could say that they've done that for themselves. So
yeah.
I think personally, I think that's super cool.
See, that's what I like about, like, you've made a career, and you legitimately seem very happy doing what you've done.
Well,
And
thank
and you're, because I know people who like, I've done a bunch of like low budget movies, and you're like, oh, I've done this many movies. I know, you
Oh yeah, I love them all. I've loved doing them, and I'm very very grateful and thankful for every single one of the opportunities that I've had to do so. So
uh,
yeah, and I mean, it's to me, it's a huge deal. Every single little thing, every little interview, every magazine. I mean, it's just a huge deal to me. As far as seeing the worth that other people see in me, because it's not something that I demand or expect. I'm not that person. So,
and like I said, I didn't realize how many movies you'd done and how many movies I personally own. And I went through them like, man, holy crap, she's in this one, she's in this one, she's in this one. And now you're like, I'm looking at the Hellcat. I'm like, oh my God, these are total movies that I've got to watch. And like I said, as soon as I get done with this one, I'm going to go over to the TV and I'm going to watch Hellcats probably in like 10 minutes after we're done, maybe. It's total stuff that I love. And we have the ongoing discussion at my shop about low budget indie movies. Is okay, some of them don't have the best this, they don't have the best that, but what they do have that a lot of big budget movies don't have is they don't have the heart. They don't
yeah,
have people are doing this because they love doing this, not because they're cashing a paycheck, not because it was contractually obligated. They don't want to be there. And you can tell that in movies. I mean, big budget movies, and you can tell the people who don't want to be there. But you put a low budget movie in there and everybody's happy to be there because they're
you
putting
know, you're so right. Everybody from the producer, the director, people, the work behind the scenes, craft service, actors, people that come in for just a day. I mean, and to me, the thing that I see the most that I can really explain it with is it's their passion.
hmm
It's
oh yeah.
passion. And it has so much to do with making a movie that much better when their passion's into it and their love and their heart. You could tell when somebody's made a movie just to make one or to keep pulling them out because their name's on them and I gotta do another one. It's been a week or whatever. And you can really see the difference between the quality in that than just somebody that's done it from their heart
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's their passion, as I said.
yeah.
They
Because
add so much to detail because of that. And I think that makes a huge difference as well.
yeah, because when you're legitimately having a good time with people you enjoy being around and doing something that you enjoy doing,
Hmm.
it reads on film. And
Yes.
like I said, when I hate to say this, but I've tried to watch a couple of the newer Bruce Willis movies, and those are painful to watch because he's
Are
just
they?
doing it for the paycheck. So
See, I haven't even attempted to. But how sad is that? I mean, you would think that somebody of that genre and that level, you would think that they would be wanting to do it because they love it. But another thing too is we can't forget, and I don't know if it's the case on the bigger sets or
mhm.
not. The bigger sets that I've been on have been different than that. However, well, I guess if you have a name, it may be different, but you can only sometimes they'll let you take it far and then sometimes they'll tone you down. They'll say, okay, I love what you did, but bring it down to like right there. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that would have anything to do with it, or it's like, hey, it's Bruce Willis. We don't care. Just put him in the movie. It's gonna sell. I don't know what's on their mind or how that works. I really don't. So it's unfair for me to say, but um in the actors and I mean, I don't know. People that work as extras on a huge movie, they're hardly ever seen. So I mean, I don't know if they care. I don't know if they're trying. I have no idea. I've done it myself back in the day. Whereas on independent film, it's like there really are no background people.
No.
You know, they're all like mixed in a congregation, and I, I I don't know. Maybe I'm just babbling on stuff I don't know, but that's I understand what you're saying and I get
Yeah.
it. I just don't know how to get it out to make it sound where I'm not being a total ass.
I had my in-laws neighbor. He would come back to Ohio for about 6 months at a time, and then go back out to California for 6 months, come back to Ohio, and he'd make money here in Ohio, and then he would go out there and live on what he had made here. And he was an extra, and that was his job out in California, was he did extra work. And the funniest thing ever was that he's in I want to say Jennifer Lopez movie as an extra, but
Mhm,
it's when you're watching the movie, the male actor's talking to Jennifer Lopez, and he's behind Jennifer Lopez. But when
mhm.
they flip the camera to go from her point of view to the man, he's behind the guy because somebody in continuity forgot. So he's both behind him and in front of him.
Oh my gosh.
And he
And
goes,
isn't
"That's
that fun,
oh yeah,
catching all this continuity stuff on films? I've seen it all. I see it all over the place.
that." And oh, it's funny because you we were talking about you living in Vegas. I'm completely rewatching all of CSI, the original run of CSI,
Okay.
because I got COVID at the beginning of the month, of the beginning of January,
Oh, jeez. Uh-huh.
and so I was stuck at home, and I didn't. So I just literally started watching something I haven't watched in forever. But you watch all the little continuity errors, like the dead body's breathing, or
Yeah.
the gun was there and then the gun's not there, and
Yep.
so I'm like, and this was a big budget show, and there's just full of continuity.
Yeah.
uh,
It's funny because I've never watched uh one episode of CSI Vegas, and they filmed it all over. They filmed all over Las Vegas.
yeah. I thought at one point I that if you were a working actor or actress, you would eventually be in an episode of CSI if you lived near there.
Well, yeah, in LA, there I have a few friends that have been in the episodes that are actors and actresses. So, and which is, I mean, that's great for your resume.
Oh
If
yeah.
you can land actually a role, you have that on your, your resume and your IMDb page. So that's wonderful. But you're right. There are so many episodes of CSI. Um, yeah, I mean, if if I had that on my resume, I wouldn't feel like just a number, just an actor or actress on there. I'd be like totally stoked bragging all over about it.
Hey, they're back. They're back. CSI Vegas.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. You might be able.
Yeah, I have lost touch with all my agents here since doing independent film. Other than a couple years ago, I did it was for Wanda Sykes, had a new game show. So I did that. That was from a Oh, I got that through my local friend here who was friends with the big producer from LA doing it. Yeah.
Cool. Um, a question I forgot to ask you is was it every actor wants to be a director and every director wants to be an actor? Would you ever want to direct a movie?
I have. I
You have
have
directed?
tried it before. I hate it. I like directing. Um, yeah, I put some money behind a film I was actually trying to produce and do a little directing on. I'll leave it to the experts. I prefer working in front of the camera. As far as like scene study and workshops and theater and all that, yeah, I love directing that. It's a whole different genre than in front of the camera, but If I see something with my friends, we're good about this. If we're filming together, it's like, oh, you could do this, and if you get this angle or whatever, if the director lets you do it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. It's such tedious work, and oh my God, editors, they like are so under. Oh my God, I watched people edit like a 2-minute clip that took them like 20 minutes to do. I was like, I editors do not get enough credit as they deserve. So,
Yeah. I mean, just my little stuff that I do. Um, Before I started doing this, this actually spawned out of a public access television show I used to do years ago.
uh-huh.
And you know, you do an hour-long TV show, you've got an hour-long TV show, you probably got 8 hours of footage to make an hour-long TV show, you know, and then I'm in the studio for 10 hours to put together a one.
Right.
uh,
See, yeah, I mean, oh gosh. Yeah, I would watch friends do it, and they're like, well, you just drop this down, and I'm like, no, it's too much for me. I don't even want to know.
so you just want to stay on the other side of the camera and being filmed, no editing, no
No, yeah, no, thank you. I mean, listen, I'm the first one on set. It's like, oh, you need help with craft service, I'm there. Oh, you know, you need help with the gaffer, I'll do the boo. I mean, I am more than willing to help out. I mean, I've carried heavy equipment upstairs for a film set before. No, I mean, I don't care. I'll do anything I have to, but that's pretty much as far as it goes. Yeah, yeah, I like being in front of the camera, or I mean, on stage. I haven't done stage for a while, and I'd be very open to getting back on stage again, but that's very, very time consuming. So
okay.
it's gonna be
um
a
Well, I think I ran out of questions. Is there anything you'd like to talk about, or anything you got upcoming that you would like to tell us about? I know we've talked
Well,
about
I
some
have
of the
a few
stuff.
things written down. I have to cheat because my memory is just like, you have to excuse me. So, well, I told you about all the one on Tubi TV, Evil
Yep.
Under Hellcats. Haunting of Mia Moss is just came out. That's on Tubi. Challenge of Five Gauntlets. Another one is Home Videos Complete Body Count. There's 1, 2, and 3. I'm in 1 and 3. That's with Tony Newton and Sam Mason Bell out of the UK, and I've been very lucky to have been in a lot of their stuff, which I'm very thankful for. There's another one, Cryptmaster Chucky, Charles, I have to say, how's his last name? Rosenay. You can find him on social media. He's with Bear Manor Media, and they just came out with a book of the top 10 list celebrities from horror movies, or top 10 like scariest. It's in a book, and it's a lot of fun to read the different movies and the different celebrities, what they like. But very fortunate enough to have my interview in that book, and that just came out a few weeks ago. There's Uncommon Bond, which has been really well received. You can order that through Skull-Faced Astronaut Store. I think everything else I pretty much mentioned. If you go on my website, it's usually kept up with the news and websites where you can see interviews, podcast, order stuff, and all that good junk.
All right. Now, if we order from your website, do they come signed?
There's nothing to really order from my website. It just it's news stuff that I've
Okay.
done, photographs and stuff like that. However, if they if they want something or a particular picture, I have several prints, and I'm more than willing to just sign them and send them.
Okay.
I don't charge for my stuff.
Cool. Cool. So, um, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I do. And I do apologize for the time zone error. That was all 100%.
Yeah, you guys are so lucky I wasn't like in my birthday suit. It could have turned into a comedy. I just got out of the shower.
Who the best rated show I ever had. They'd be like, people are like, there a naked woman on there? How did you?
Right? Yeah. I know when you text me, I was like, oh my God,
Oh,
did I get wrong or what?
I don't know why my brain for some reason was thinking that California was Pacific time and Nevada was
Mhm.
Mountain time, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't know why, and I'm like, I looked at the thing and I'm like, why did I do that? Because I have all these other like times and stuff written down. I have like a for all the interviews I got coming up, and I'm like, I even wrote it down wrong, and I was like, why the hell did I do that? And
It's okay.
it
It worked out. Listen, there's been times where I've done podcasts. The last one I did was about about a month ago, and they said, "Okay, we're in what was it, Minnesota or somewhere like that." So I had to literally like look what time is zone, and so what's the time difference, and then like literally write it down on paper so I wouldn't forget about it. So I tell it's easy to do.
well, I've done interviews with people and they're like, oh, can we film about 10 o'clock at night? And I'm like, yeah, 10 o'clock at night's fine. And I went, what time zone are you in? And they're like, we're in California. And I'm like, I guess I can do that for you.
Oh, geez, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm filming at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting it done, or actually like almost two. Um, I
Gosh.
had to do one, and the people were, and the worst part about it is this one fell through because we could not get a good connection at all,
Oh
and they were in
no.
Hawaii,
Oh
and
wow.
I'm sitting there and I'm trying to film, and we just cannot get a good connection on either end. They were having a bad connection on their end. I was having a bad connection on my end, and it's one of the ones where they're recording, I think at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm 9 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
so or
something.
something like that. And it's like, oh my god. And then we're sitting there trying to get everything, and it all just kind of fell through, and we've just never been able to get it back up. And I'm like, all right, maybe this one was never supposed to happen because
Oh geez. Yeah, that's a bummer. So
yeah.
yeah.
But like I said, I do appreciate you coming on here. I do apologize for the error on my part.
Not a problem. It worked out.
Yeah,
And I appreciate you asking me to be on here. This has been great
yeah.
time.
This is fun, and it was good meeting you. You
You
know,
as
I
well.
it was I thought, oh, you know, I wonder if I've ever met you at like cons, and you're like, I haven't done any cons. I'm like, okay, well, I've never met at a con. So,
Okay.
all
But
right.
now you have like all these new movies to watch that you weren't aware
Oh
of.
my,
So but to go with the other 1,000 that you need to watch, right?
oh yeah. I'm a TV addict, and my wife, she's like, well, I went outside as a kid. I'm like, well, I had a big brother, and his name was television, and he raised me.
I love it. Yeah.
So,
I
all
love
right.
it.
Well, I do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And if you
Thank
ever,
you.
if you got more stuff coming down, that you've got some movies you just want to pop on, give me, 10 minutes. We'll put you on the end of a show, and you can say all the new movies you got coming out and all that fun stuff. So,
Oh, well, thank you. That's really, really nice. I will. So, and hopefully we're going to start gearing up and start filming again real soon. And it's going to be a lot of good stuff. I have a lot of good stuff that just a lot of, yeah, it just
yeah,
has to be filmed. So, so hopefully, because the characters are a lot of fun and
yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing them.
And fingers crossed, Hellcats 3. So
I know
we'll
you
get,
guys have to put it out there to Lynn. We want Rosie back. He's doing so much other fabulous stuff. So I know he's busy with that, but yeah, I think Rosie wouldn't mind coming back. She's badass. She's a lot of fun.
I will find out here shortly. So,
Good for you.
well, you have a good night. And like I said, thank you
You as
again. And I will put your information here at the end of the episode. And your episode will probably drop next Monday. So
Okay,
heads
just
up.
keep me posted.
I
I
will.
thought it was tonight, so I put it on Facebook
Oh,
and it Yeah, it just shows my pictures. I was like, okay, well, so just keep me posted, and yeah, I'll definitely throw it up there or tag me or whatever.
Cool. Yeah, I'll tag you and give you all the information. I'll give you like a day's ahead notice and whatnot. So, okay.
Well,
All right.
all right. Well, thank you, my friend. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for having me on your fabulous show. It's been
Thank you
fun.
for being on my show. I appreciate it. Good
All
night.
right. I will talk to you soon.
See you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. We love to thank Donna for her showing up tonight on the podcast. That was a fun podcast. She is such a cool person. Maybe if any of my local movie making friends would like to bring her to Ohio, that would be awesome. So as always, Group Therapy TV podcast is brought to you by RU Game, the best comic book collectible all around geek shopping, located in Pick, Ohio, located at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pick, Ohio, 45356. You can watch my other shows, Saturday Morning Serials, and now Sci Fridays, as I can speak proper English. Sorry. But you guys, as always, have a good night, and I will see you next time on the Group Therapy TV podcast. Take care.